everyone, Gavin here from Hollow Ground Productions, and this week we're going to be focusing on Fisher. Let's listen to the reference track. It's a track called It's a Killa, which came out earlier this year. There are lots of tutorials focusing on his more famous tracks. I thought I'd do something different. We want to recreate those drums, the distinctive lead, the distinctive bass line, how to manipulate the vocals, and I'm going to show you how he does an arrangement and how he makes his drops. So let's start with the drums. Search through Vengeance samples for a powerful kick. Use kick tight to increase the power. Use EQ8 to give it just a bit more love. Two hats running simultaneously, a shaker sound and a more typical hi-hat. Erosion to give it more high end, roll off the lows, saturate, and have both running at the same time. Tighten these up using drum bus, sidechain it to the kick and boost some of the highs for a bit more brightness. A little bit more grit and detail. We need to layer the clap, one sound and then a bunch of Vengeance packs to layer it up, except remove the bits of the samples that you don't need. Make sure everything is sidechained to the kick and all of the lows are rolled off, and don't sidechain it too intensely, you need to let the transients come through. Good, nice and meaty. Okay, there's also an offbeat vocal chop. It was hard to find the same kind of sound, but I managed to find it in this track called Go F Yourself. You also need a drum fill and a snare roll. I use an MPC snare for this. All together. Lovely, now let's move on to the bass. Let's try to redo the MIDI line as close as possible. We're going to use operator, 2 sine waves running in FM to create that bass sound. Make sure there's a little bit of attack. EQ8, give the lows some love. All together. Cool, now let's move on to the lead. MS-20, which is a Korg synth, and BAF bass is the preset that we're going to tweak. The bass notes play up and down across an octave and then go down and up chromatically. Sharp cut everything below 100. Now let's do the lead for the main verse. 2 saw waves with an LFO on the filter. 5 voices of noise unison. Let's use analog to create the brassy lead. For the second drop we're going to use the pitch bend to bring the note all the way down. And all together. Okay, now we need to move on to the Vox. The acapella is available on YouTube, so let's just download that. I also need to use the isolated vocal line from the original track. So to make the track sound more pro, we're going to have to add a lot more stuff. Let's use operator to create a rise and drop, which is used in both drops. Have a really high note gliding into a really low note. Make sure the glide is on and it's nearly 4 seconds long. And then it will rise back up for the drop. Find any random electro sample, put it into simpler in slice mode, and then use glitch or effectrix to just create some random electro sounds with the volume really low. Shameless plug, but as usual, all samples that I created in this video are available on my Bandcamp. Check the link in the description. So now we're going to analyze the arrangement. There's a 16 bar intro and then a 16 bar break and build. In fact, almost everything operates in 16 bars except for the last drop. You want private tuition? Get on to me at this email as soon as possible. We're moving into the first of 3 break and build sections where he always high passes the kick. Fisher really likes his drops, and there are usually 3 in every one of his tracks. The first 2 are usually 16 bars, and the last one is usually a very, very long drop of 32 bars. Cool, I think that was sounding pretty decent. I should say that if you wanted it to sound even more accurately like Fisher, then I would recommend, instead of using the analog preset, you would go and use Serum. I do believe that he used Serum for an awful lot of his leads. There are a load of videos on YouTube which would identify the presets that were used, and I encourage you to go and see them. I imagine you probably saw them before I came across this video anyway. Anyway, regardless, I shall see you guys very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe.